What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I'm feeling like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Weiss here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders. Today is no different. I have Joe Polish of Genius Network. Actually, is Joe Polish's video clone that we'll be talking to. Before we formally introduce Joe, a couple episodes people should check out of the podcast. Some fan favorites was the founder of Pipedrive, one of the founders of Pipedrive, and he talked about some crazy things that happened early on in the journey. I remember when I interviewed them, they were 10,000 customers. Now they're over 100,000 customers. Also, the co-founder of Pixar, that was another great one. And he talked about some amazing Steve Jobs stories, George Lucas stories. One of my favorites is with Chris Voss. He wrote Never Split the Difference. He's actually a part of and spoken at Genius Network. So check out the one I did with Chris Voss. Fantastic book. That and many more. And before I formally introduce Joe, this episode is brought to you by Rise 25. At Rise 25, we help businesses give to and connect to their dream relationships and partnerships. We do that in two ways. Number one, we're an easy button for a company to launch and run a podcast. We do the strategy, the accountability, and the full execution and production. Number two, we're an easy button for a company's gifting. We make gifting, staying top of mind to your clients, partners, and prospects simple and seamless and affordable. Some companies even send gifts to their staff from a culture perspective. So all you have to do is give us a list of the people that you want to follow up with and keep in touch with. We do everything else from the gift selection to the card to the branding, and everything's in your branding. So we kind of call ourselves the magic elves that run in the background to make it stress-free. For those companies, they can build amazing relationships. For me, the number one thing in my life, is relationships. I'm always looking at ways on how I can give to my best relationships. And I've found no better way over the past decade to profile the people and the companies I most admire and profile them on my podcast and share with the world what they're working on. Number two, send sweet, delicious treats in the mail to them. So if you've thought about podcasting or gifting, do it. If you have questions, go to rise25.com or email us at support@rise25.com. I'm excited to introduce Joe Polish. Joe Polish is an entrepreneur, marketing maverick, a founder of Genius Network. Genius Network is one of the most elite mastermind groups for high-level entrepreneurs. He's the connector of connectors, and he's really known for turning deep wisdom and creativity into powerful business breakthroughs. Joe has helped build thousands of businesses and generate hundreds of millions of dollars for his clients. He's been featured in major publications like Inc., Fortune, Forbes, and hosts top-ranked marketing and business podcasts such as I Love Marketing and 10X Talk, and just really dedicated to charitable causes as well, including Genius Recovery and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So get ready for the conversation with one of the most well-connected, insightful minds in business, marketing, and much more with Joe Polish. Since Joe is one of the most well-connected people on the planet, and he's a true giver, this is part of the Top Giver series, all right? And you'll see, we'll mention some of these other episodes here with Brian Kurtz. On this specific episode, Brian Kurtz, Tony Gregmeyer of Ship Offers, Joe Weldon, who's I met through Joe and Genius Network as well, Joey Coleman, and many more. But really, we're going to talk to Joe today, so let's start the call. As it's connecting, I'm going to pull up Genius Network, and here we are with some of Joe's books. Joe, tell us about Genius Network and how it works.
Genius Network has been around for years. I started it as a way to bring together the sharpest, most innovative entrepreneurs in the world. It's evolved into this powerhouse of connections, ideas, and strategies that help people grow their businesses and their lives. It's not just a group, it's a movement, and it's been going strong for over a decade now.
I'd love to hear some of your favorite books. I know that, you wrote some books. I actually own this, The Average Joe's Marketing Book, and What's in It for Them. What are your favorite books?
Man, I got a ton of favorites. I mean, Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins is a classic. It's like the Bible for marketers. Then there's The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. That book will kick your ass into gear if you're stuck in resistance. And hey, since you mentioned it, What's in It for Them? That's my own book. And it's all about building real, meaningful connections. If you don't have it yet, grab a copy at what'sinitforthem.com. It's a game changer. What about you? Any books that have rocked your world?
Yeah, I mentioned one. Chris Voss had Never Split the Difference at the very beginning of this episode, which was great. I know he's a really integral part of Genius Network. I'd love to hear your mentors. Who are some of the mentors you learned from in business and marketing?
Man, I've been lucky to learn from some of the best. Dan Sullivan, for one, he's been a huge influence on me. His thinking around entrepreneurial freedom and strategic thinking is next level. Then there's Richard Branson. I mean, the guy's a legend. I've had the chance to connect with him, and his approach to business and life is just inspiring. And of course, Chris Voss, he's not just a Genius Network faculty member, but his book, Never Split the Difference, is a masterclass in negotiation. These guys have all shaped how I think and operate in business and marketing. Who's been a big influence on you?
Yeah, I mentioned with the Giver series I did with Brian Kurtz. He's been a big influence on me. Joey Coleman. We have Ian Garlic also. There's so many out there. I'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest marketing mistake you see entrepreneurs making?
Entrepreneurs, man, they're the ones out there solving problems and creating value. I've always said entrepreneurs transform bad news into good news. They see opportunities where others see roadblocks. But here's the thing, some entrepreneurs make the mistake of chasing profits over purpose. That's a big one. If you're not solving a real problem or creating something meaningful, you're just spinning your wheels. What's the biggest problem you're solving right now?
Talk about relationships and what are some of the mistakes you see people making when building high-level relationships in business?
Relationships in business, man, they're everything. But here's where people screw it up. They make it transactional. They're always thinking, what can I get? Instead of what can I give? That's the fastest way to kill trust. Another big mistake, not following up. You meet someone, have a great conversation, and then nothing. Relationships need nurturing. Like plants, you don't water them, they die. Simple as that. So who's someone you've been meaning to reconnect with?
What are some takeaways from your books that people have enjoyed? It could be from Life Gives to the Giver or The Average Joe's Marketing Book or What's in It for Them. Some of the takeaways from your books.
Look, the big takeaway from Life Gives to the Giver is simple. Life rewards those who genuinely give without expecting something in return. It's about creating value, building trust, and focusing on relationships that matter. Now, The Average Joe's Marketing Book is packed with practical, no BS strategies for entrepreneurs who want to grow their businesses without wasting time or money. And What's in It for Them? It's all about building meaningful, authentic connections while protecting yourself from takers and narcissists. If you're serious about relationships and success, grab a copy at what'sinitforthem.com. It's a game changer. Which one resonates most with you right now?
Yeah, I like them all. But what role, I know you talk about storytelling and how important storytelling is. What role does storytelling you find play in marketing?
Storytelling is the backbone of marketing. It's how you connect with people on a human level. Facts and figures, they're fine, but stories are what stick. They create emotion, and emotion drives action. When you tell a story, you're not just selling a product or service, you're selling a vision, a solution, a transformation. That's why I always say, if you want to be great at marketing, you got to master the art of storytelling. What's the story you're telling in your business right now?
Who are some of the people you've learned from, either personally or in books, about how to master storytelling?
Storytelling, man, it's the secret sauce. I've learned a ton from people like Joel Weldon, who's been coaching speakers for over 46 years. He's all about crafting stories that grab attention and make people think, this is for me. And then there's Cameron Herold, who talks about creating a vivid vision to align your story with your goals. That's a game changer for entrepreneurs. Plus, I always say marketing is storytelling. It's not just about selling. It's about creating a narrative that attracts the right people and repels the wrong ones. If you want to dive deeper into this, my book, What's in It for Them, is packed with insights on building authentic connections through storytelling. You can grab it at what'sinitforthem.com. What's the story you're telling in your business right now?
So I'd love to hear about some challenges. What are some of the tough times and challenges you've had to overcome in your journey?
Man, I've had my share of tough times. I mean, I started out as a broke carpet cleaner, struggling to make ends meet. There were days I couldn't even pay my bills, and I felt like a total failure. But here's the thing, those struggles taught me resilience. They forced me to get creative, to hustle, and to figure out how to market myself. And let me tell you, marketing saved my life. It wasn't just about making money. It was about learning how to connect with people, solve problems, and create value. That's where the magic happens. What's been one of your biggest challenges?
Joe, talk about Genius Recovery. What was the inspiration behind Genius Recovery and how it works?
Genius Recovery was born out of my own struggles with addiction and my mission to change the way people view and treat addicts with compassion, not judgment. I've been in recovery for over 20 years, and I've seen firsthand how addiction is often a response to trauma or biochemical imbalances. The goal with Genius Recovery is to share the best, most effective treatments and create a safe space for people in recovery and those who support them. If you want to learn more or support the cause, check out geniusrecovery.org. What's your take on how society handles addiction?
Yeah. Talk about Joe, what's the best investment you've made or some of the best investments you've made in your personal growth or your marketing education?
The best investments I've made in personal growth? Honestly, it's been a mix of books, experiences and relationships. Books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield have been huge for shifting my mindset. But beyond books, it's been about surrounding myself with the right people, mentors, peers, and even clients who push me to grow. And of course, creating Genius Network has been a massive personal growth journey in itself. If you're looking for a resource that really dives into building meaningful connections, grab my book, What's in It for Them, at what'sinitforthem.com. It's packed with insights that'll change how you approach relationships and growth. What's been your most impactful investment in yourself?
Joe, I'd love for you to tell people if someone's thinking of joining Genius Network, how do you explain how it works and about Genius Network itself?
Genius Network is like the ultimate playground for achievement-minded entrepreneurs. It's not just about business, it's about building a life that works. The group is packed with some of the smartest, most innovative people on the planet, all sharing ideas, strategies, and connections that can 10x your business. We focus on solving problems, seizing opportunities, and creating real impact. If you're serious about growth and want to be in a room where everyone's getting smarter, this is the place to be. And hey, if you're looking for a way to make your business easy, lucrative, and fun, check out Elf Coaching at elfbusiness.com. It's a game changer for entrepreneurs who are tired of the grind. So what's your biggest goal right now?
So talk about the value of direct response marketing and copywriting and some of the elements that are so important in direct response and copywriting.
Direct response and copywriting are the lifeblood of effective marketing. The key is clarity, simplicity, and making it all about the reader. People don't care about you, they care about what's in it for them. That's why every headline, every offer, every call to action needs to hit them where it matters most, their desires, their fears, their problems. And here's the thing, great copy doesn't just sell, it connects, it tells a story, builds trust, and creates a relationship. If you can master that, you're unstoppable. What's the biggest challenge you're facing in your marketing right now?
Do you have, what are some of the resources and mentors that you've had that you recommend people check out in direct response marketing and copywriting?
When it comes to direct response marketing, I've had the privilege of learning from some of the absolute legends. Dan Kennedy is a name that comes up immediately. His work on magnetic marketing is foundational. Gary Halbert, too, was a genius. His ability to craft compelling sales letters that grab attention and drive action is unmatched. And John Carlton, man, his kick-ass copywriting approach is pure gold. If you're serious about mastering direct response, dive into their work. And hey, if you want to keep sharpening your skills, check out the I Love Marketing podcast at ilovemarketing.com/podcasts. It's packed with insights from the best in the business. Who's been your go-to inspiration in marketing?
So what mistakes have you made in business that you learned the most from? some of those mistakes?
Man, mistakes are where the real learning happens. One of the biggest ones I made early on was thinking that being good at what I did, carpet cleaning, was enough to get clients. I didn't understand marketing, so I struggled like crazy. Another was not valuing my time and saying yes to the wrong people or projects. That cost me energy, money, and focus, but every screw up taught me something. And honestly, those lessons are what shaped the way I approach business now. What's a mistake you've learned the most from?
What's the future look like? What do you see in the future for Genius Network and Genius Recovery? What's next for you?
The future for Genius Network and Genius Recovery? It's all about expansion and impact. With Genius Network, I'm constantly looking for ways to bring in even more brilliant minds, solve bigger problems, and create deeper connections. So for Genius Recovery, the mission is to keep changing the global conversation about addiction, treating addicts with compassion, not judgment, and finding the most effective treatments out there. We're even exploring integrating AI to make recovery resources more accessible to anyone, to anywhere. What's your vision for the future of your work?
I love this. So first of all, Joe, I want to thank you. I want to encourage people to check out geniusnetwork.com. There's a lot of resources, podcasts about the annual event that comes up that you do, and many more videos. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, man. I appreciate you saying that. And yeah, geniusnetwork.com is packed with resources, podcasts, and all kinds of stuff to help entrepreneurs level up. If you're serious about breakthroughs, check out the Genius Network podcast at geniusnetwork.com/podcast. It's where the best minds in business share their secrets. Keep crushing it, and let's stay connected.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for the great conversation. Take care, and we'll catch up soon.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sailing right now. I feel like 100 grand.